Hi everyone, my name is Deepti. Welcome back to my channel, a place where you can learn at your own pace. In today's video, we will discuss how we can solve a particular question type that comes in the reading test. It is something like match the following. So here in the question, you will be given alphabets. These alphabets pertain to respective paragraphs that are there in the passage. And if you look at the questions, they will have some information that will be there in one of these paragraphs. So based on the information that is given in questions, we have to identify which paragraph is this information given in the passage. So let's start. For the purpose of this test, I am referring to Cambridge IELTS Book 14. It is the academic module. We are looking at the first reading test, and this is the second passage in the first reading test. So let's start and see how we can use this strategy that we will discuss in this video to solve this particular question type. So question number 14 that we have here states, it is a description of how people misused a bike sharing scheme. So if you have this book, for this particular question type, I would recommend go through the passage once. Read the passage very quickly once. Just skim through it so that you can identify what information is given in which part of the passage, just to get a main idea of what the passage individual paragraphs are talking about. Now, when we look at point 14, we are identifying here how people misuse bike sharing scheme. So this particular passage is actually talking about bike sharing scheme, and we will see which paragraph pertains to that. Now, when we look at paragraph E, here we can see a few words that talk about misusing bikes. Now, when we see here that there are a couple of bikes missing, so they're talking about the bikes missing. Why? Because, the system was prone to vandalism. Now, if you know the word vandalism, vandalism refers to something that is done to harm an object or a place, or a lot of chaos, lot of destruction is created. Also, it includes theft. Okay. So in this paragraph, if you read it, you will identify that when the bike racks were being tested and they went through the ones that we had, they identified that the bikes underwent vandalism, which means they were malhandled, and some of them were even stolen. And that is why some bikes always went missing. So in this paragraph, we find the answer to question number 14. Okay. So for question number 14, we can write answer choice E. So that gives me the correct answer here. Okay. Now let's move to question number 15. It says, in one of the paragraphs, we have to find an explanation of why a proposed bike sharing scheme. So there was a bike sharing scheme that was proposed. However, it was turned down. So let us see which paragraph is talking about this turning down of the proposed bike scheme. And if you have read this, you will see in paragraph C, there is a presentation given to the city council, okay, wherein the bike proposal is given to them, which includes 10,000 white bikes. And the bikes can be used across the city, and some calculations were also made here in which the cost that is coming here, we see that is only 10%. So for municipality, the cost will only be 10% of what the municipality actually spends on public transport per person per kilometer. So which means the cost would be greatly reduced. Now, the next part of the paragraph says nevertheless. Now we need to understand nevertheless is always used when there is a contradictory statement that we are making. Okay. So they are saying nevertheless, which means the plan was good, but nevertheless, The council unanimously rejected the plan. So the plan was there, but it was unanimously rejected. Unanimously terms means that everybody who was there in the team, everybody disagreed to the plan, and so it was rejected. So when you look at question number 15, the answer lies here where a plan was rejected. Okay, I'll go back to 15 and check. And yes, so it was a proposed scheme that was turned down. Turned down, in other words, would mean rejected. Okay, so the answer we found was in paragraph C. Please understand here there is a note given that you may use a letter more than once. So it is not necessary that the alphabets that we have already used, we cannot repeat them. So E may come twice, C may come twice, so on and so forth. Now let us look at number 16. Number 16 is giving us a reference to a person who was unable to profit from their particular, whatever work they decided to do, they were unable to make profit out of it. So if we move to paragraph F, and when we come to last line, but financially I didn't really benefit from it because I never filed for a patent. Okay, so here some person had got into the bike sharing program, and a lot of things had happened, but financially there was no benefit out of it, because of which there was no profit. Okay, so if you look at number 16, the answer lies in paragraph F. Okay, let's move to the next one. Number 17. An explanation of the potential savings a bike sharing scheme would bring. So here we are talking about an explanation that is talking about sharing. That is talking about saving that a bike sharing scheme would bring. So going back to paragraphs, if you remember in paragraph C, we discussed this. And here we said that to the municipality, it would only cost 10% of what it was contributing to public transport. So even number 17, if we look at, we'll have C as an option. Now you understand why I was telling you that for the same alphabet can come twice for two different questions. So again, we'll go to C. So that is an explanation of how bike sharing scheme would bring potential savings. Okay. Now coming to the last one, number 18. A reference to the problems a bike sharing scheme was intended to solve. So there were some issues and the bike sharing scheme would resolve those issues. If we quickly go through the paragraphs here, in the first paragraph, in the beginning only we'll find that there was a group of activists who wanted to change the society. Now, how did they plan to change the society? They came up with an idea and they thought that their idea would provide us an answer to the perceived threats of air pollution and consumerism. Okay, and then they painted small number of used bikes and they wanted to start something that would be useful for the environment. So if you look at number 18, it is talking exactly about what the question is asking. So for 18, the answer choice can be A. A reference to problems a bike sharing scheme was intended to solve. So what problems the bike sharing scheme intended to solve? Consumerism and air pollution. That is what we get in A. So this is how our answers can be easily got when we read the passage carefully. The important point that we need to understand here is the role of synonyms. So problems intended to solve, what problems were there? One was related to consumerism, the other was related to the environment. So these are the strategies in which we can paraphrase what is written in the text. And if we understand synonyms, we will be able to get to the correct answer. I hope you found this strategy useful. So please subscribe to my channel, like this video and share it with your friends. And yes, don't forget to press the notification bell so that you can never miss an update from us. Always stay updated. Happy learning, keep evolving. If you're interested in taking one-to-one sessions with me, you can contact me on Instagram and Facebook. Thank you.